Today, let's talk about diversity and unity. I'm going to read you from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, starting at verse 4. We're going to read verses 4, 5, and 6. Here we go. 1 Corinthians 12, starting at verse 4. There are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are diversities of ministries, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of activities, but it is the same God who works all in all. 1 Corinthians 12 is about spiritual gifts, something Paul did not want believers to be ignorant of. That's his first words in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Here, Paul explained something relevant to the working of spiritual gifts, but he applied it beyond that topic. He talks about the principle of diversity and the principle of unity in God's family. Paul described three areas of diversity in God's family: diversity of gifts, diversity of ministries, and diversity of activities. The gifts are diverse, the ministries are different, and the activities are varied. But it is the same Spirit, the same Lord, the same God doing the work through the gifts, the ministries, and the activities. First, there are diversities of gifts. Paul will later list 9 spiritual gifts in the following verses, and more in other places, demonstrating this broad diversity. Yet, there's only one giver who works through the diverse gifts. Then there's diversities of ministries. The word ministries probably has in mind different gifted offices in the church, such as apostles, prophets, evangelists, and pastor-teachers. That's in Ephesians chapter 4, verses 11 through 14. Paul's point is clear. Though there are different offices, it is the same Lord granting the offices and directing the service. Then there's also a diversity of activities. The original word for activities is energemata, where we get our words energy, energetic, and energize from. It's a word of active and sometimes miraculous power. Differences of activities means that God displays and pours out his miraculous power in different ways, but it is always the same God doing the work. Well, what are the differences between gifts, ministries, and activities? Well, the word gifts is used broadly. Some gifts are ministries, standing offices or positions in the church. Some gifts are activities, miraculous events, or outpourings at a particular time and place, such as the manifestation of the Spirit that's mentioned in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. Just as in first century Corinth, it's easy for believers today to focus on their own gifts, their own ministries, and their own activities, and believe those who are different are not really walking or working with God. Yet the one God has a glorious diversity in the way that he does things. We should never expect it to be all according to our own emphasis and taste. One of the ministries mentioned in the New Testament is evangelist. For example, that's mentioned in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11. Now, if I'm an evangelist, it's easy for me to focus on my gift, my ministry, and think that everyone in God's family should be an evangelist just as I am. I can even try to make other people feel guilty that they don't have my gifts and ministry. Two things are true and important: the diversity and the unity. By God's Spirit, we are different, but we are all one. Don't focus so much on the diversity that you miss the unity. Today, appreciate the powerful diversity and unity that God has made among his people, and find a way to thank God for someone else's gifts and ministry.